Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights is a podcast about the Niantic game Ingress. Listen each week for the latest news, updates and rumours. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a voice message or emailing us at the links in the show notes.
Additional intel available.
Hello agents and welcome to episode 114 of the Ingress Insights podcast. In this week's episode we're going over anything going on with Plus Beta. There's not a lot. There's a few Ingress details to go over and then a few little bits regarding Recon, and I do want to add on a bit about Wayfarer as well at the end. Outside of that, it's been a little while since I updated on how my stats are and what my level is, so I want to do that in this podcast before getting into the rest of everything else. So for myself, I'm recursed twice at level 15, just a reminder. I've got 2,224,757 AP. If you don't remember, I need 16 million AP to get to level 16 and then recurse again. There are medals that are required, so I've already got those, so I don't need to really think about that. I was hoping I might get to level 16 by the end of the year, but now that we're in the start of October, it's not looking likely, so it'll probably be start of next year when I get to level 16, unless I get to rack up a load of AP during the year 13 events, so I'll have to wait and see. But that's where I'm at the minute. I'm quite happy with that progress through the year, so just have to look forward to level 16 and recursing again at some point. Being covered, I'll move into the Plus Beta news now for our anomaly for this quarter.
This is Jessica Jung, lead producer of Peridot, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
We don't have much going on for Plus Beta at the moment, so the only thing we've got running currently is the Plus Beta Daily Bounties Global Op. So that starts running from the 1st of October and it ends on the 14th of December 2025 at 11:59 p.m. local time. It is, however, still important to do it because you get 60 beta tokens per day. So those add up to you getting your Plus Beta medal. And then you'll get 300 season points distributed across the total daily bounties claimed by each faction's members, rounded to one decimal place. So it's always important to get those season points and make it really count for your faction, because you're still helping out your faction even if you can't participate in the other events that are happening for the rest of the Plus Beta series. The only other thing we've got is we now have the 2 badges added to the store. So we've got the Plus Beta Supporter medal, and that's 30,800 CMU. Comes with obviously the medal and then 5 battle beacons. And there's the Plus Beta Core Supporter, which is like blue and greeny, yellow and purple with a squiggle. And again, you need the core subscription active to be able to even get that in your store and look at that. And that comes with the Plus Beta Core Supporter medal and 5 battle beacons. So nothing too amazing in there, realistically. But it's worth just seeing that they are there, and there'll be more badges to come. There's plenty of badges, as I've already covered, during the Plus Beta Anomaly series. So now I'll move on to some general Ingress news.
This is Shimon, former community manager for the Witcher Monster Slayer, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
First of all, for Ingress news, I know I always say update your app, but definitely do update your app this time. So we've had an app update come out a couple of days ago, so we're now on version 2.175.2. The notes just say that they've updated our game engine for stability and security improvements. There was a message posted on Ingress's social media channels to say we were recently alerted to a security vulnerability in Unity, the game engine we use, that affects agents on Android. We have a patch for this CVE in Ingress 2.175.2. Please update to the latest version of Ingress. So if you don't want to be exposed to the security vulnerability in Unity, Unity is obviously a game engine used by lots of companies, so they will have done similar updates on their end as well. So do make sure you actually update, get everything there, make sure you're on version 2.175.2. Next up, last time we had a lot of the Plus Beta news, so I didn't get to go over October's schedule, so I just wanted to cover that now. So today, 4th of October, as I'm recording this podcast, is first Saturday, so that's already gone and passed. I'm not going to cover it in further detail on here because there's no point. I'll cover it in more detail when we get around to it in November. Next Sunday, the 12th of October, is Second Sunday. So that's from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. local time. And you just make sure you complete one of the Second Sunday campaigns to increase your medal by 1 count. Even if you complete more than one, it won't give you another tick. So there's no point doing more than one. And that's just doing your missions, clearing your machina, getting your unique hacks, or doing your scans and becoming a scout controller. So whatever way you want to do your Second Sunday, you'll be able to select it from there. Then on the 18th of October, we've got the first plus beta XM anomaly of the series. So that's in Valencia, Spain, and Sao Paulo, Brazil. And that's followed up the following weekend on the 25th of October with the XM anomaly in Wellington, New Zealand, and Houston, Texas, in the US. And that rounds us out for October. I will add for October, I'm a little disappointed we've not got any of the pumpkin spice XM, the orange coloured XM that usually comes in October. Maybe there's been some issue or they've not quite done it yet, or we'll get it closer towards Halloween. And then finally, for general Ingress news, if you check your scanner and go down to the store, you'll see that the Ingress team are selling a experimental loadout kit for 54,000 CMU. This contains 40 level 8 XMP bursters, 40 level 8 resonators, 40 level 8 power cubes, 8 very rare portal shields, 2 Aegis shields, 2 very rare heat sinks, 8 very rare multi-hacks, 8 very rare heat sinks, not 2, 8 very rare multi-hacks, 4 Apex, and 2 rare kinetic capsules. The team are also testing out their web store using Shopify. Lots of shop stores use Shopify, so I'm not surprised that's what they've gone for. And on there, if you want to purchase the same one, you can get that for $20 or whatever the equivalent is for yourself. And if you buy it via the web store, they know that each single use passcode is valid for 1 year before it expires. And passcodes will be emailed to the email address provided at checkout within 7 days. So it sounds like for now it's a bit of a manual process. I know on the other web stores for like Monster Hunter Now, Jurassic World Live, you tend to click a button and get it instantly in game. The Jurassic World Alive one especially entices you to go to the web store because they offer a free item every week that you can just click and claim, never buy anything else. Obviously, they do want you to go to the store, look at what else is on offer, and possibly buy something that way. So this is a good start. I'm not sure it's worth it for the $20 to get all of those items on there, but I do applaud the Ingress team for at least giving it a try and seeing how that works. It's also worth mentioning this bundle was initially marketed as being for Ingress First Saturday, but agents pointed out that if the code was coming out within 7 days, they may not get the gear for Ingress First Saturday, and that some of the gear didn't really match up for what you do on First Saturday. So I think they just changed it to a general thing on there, and they've changed it to the icon that I'll probably have used as the podcast icon for this episode as well, the like chip purple and blue thing. That's about it for general Ingress news. So I'm moving into some Recon and Wayfarer stuff now.
This is Alex Stam, technical artist, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
First of all, for Recon, you still can't log in yet. You keep trying, but it's not working yet. So hopefully that is fixed at some point soon and we're able to access it and start reviewing. Outside of that, there was an issue when agents went to go and nominate new portals where the Google Maps icons didn't load, like the map didn't load, so you couldn't tell where you were placing your portal nomination. I flagged this on Blue Sky to Brian and the Ingress team. I'm sure lots of other people flagged it as well, but it's now been resolved, so you will be able to view everything on there and actually nominate, see where you're placing your portal nomination. Even if they aren't yet being reviewed, you can still get them in the system. One of the other things related to Recon is that the reporting invalid portals button hasn't worked for the past 2 updates in Ingress. I hadn't mentioned it last time to my knowledge. Maybe I did. But anyway, I didn't go into it in further detail because I was hoping the next update would fix it and that they'd notice. The team has mentioned they are working on a fix for it, but it will require an app update. So it's not going to be fixed like via the backend like the Google Maps portal nomination issue was. It is at least going to be fixed at some point. The team are aware of it. As I said, that's all I've got for Recon. I just want to mention a little thing about Wayfarer that's kind of giving me a bit of a headache, but I don't know how much I should really care about it with not really doing Wayfarer much now because I'm waiting for Recon. So on the Wayfarer community forums, a user shared that they were seeing a lot of way spots on the map with street signs. So they were called Street Corner at Rue de Clersou and Rue de Huvet. I've probably butchered that wrong. Sorry for anyone that speaks French. And those were just like having a random, the plain kind of Pokestop image where the white background, the blue spinner. And they mentioned that was in France that it popped up. And then Niantic Titino clarified, thank you for bringing this up. You're seeing away spots at some street corners and bus stops in your town because we're conducting a limited experiment in select areas within Italy, France, and Spain. We conduct experiments like this from time to time to further enrich the gameplay experience for users. Hope this helps. As I said, it's given me a little bit of a headache because I know that some Wayfarer users will nominate their street sign because they think it's eligible or just because they want a Pokestop in their area that they can reach from their couch. Obviously, these don't meet Wayfarer criteria, so they get rejected. But then in these locations in Italy, France, and Spain, users will see bus stops and street signs pop up which aren't typically eligible. And then I can see a scenario where they nominate street signs and bus stops, then get a suspension because they're low quality way spots and shouldn't have been submitted, and then complain and say, obviously, these things are already in the game. It's similar to the power spots where they just decided to import a load of junk and generic businesses, and then people are nominating those kind of things because they believe they're eligible because they're power spots. I'm guessing this must be a push from like the Pokemon Go team to just say jump and Wayfarer having to ask how high, because I don't see that they think it's a good idea when all their thing is about making sure the map is fine, talking about eligibility. But then at the same time, I'm like, do I care? Because this isn't connected to Ingress now. If it was connected to Ingress, I would care a lot more. If it was maybe happening in the UK, I would care a lot more. But for now, I guess it's just the Wayfarer and Pokemon Go teams doing whatever the hell they feel like at the minute. But I just want to mention it. I'll link to the thread on the Wayfarer community forums if you're in one of those areas and you see it pop up. That's why. But that's all I wanted to cover for kind of closing out the show. So I'll get into closing things up.
Hey, this is Sim, Global Product Marketing Lead for Peridot, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
Thank you, agents, for listening to this week's episode, and thank you very much to our Patreon subscribers. So you can find out more about that at the end of the episode. There'll be my pre-recorded blurb that goes on about Patreon and how you can join and what the best way to do that is. Next week, we should have some more Ingress updates. I'm not sure what, because we've got everything for Plus Beta, so there may be a few new little things to come, but I'm not expecting anything major, not until we get into the kind of November and Year 13 celebrations. Outside of these usual episodes, there are, as I mentioned, the Plus Beta bite-sized episodes that are dropping every Wednesday and Friday through October. So there'll be 2 of them out already, and then a few more to come, obviously, going through each little bit of the Plus Beta Anomaly series. Hopefully you find them helpful. Let me know if you do, because then I can do that for when we get the Q1 2026 Anomaly series and go through and break those down a bit more. That's all from me for this week, agents. So hope you have a great Sunday. Hope you get ready for second Sunday next week, and happy hacking. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. So the easiest way to support the podcast is via Patreon. So you can find at patreon.com/Ingress Insights. And there's a free tier, a $1 a month tier, whatever that is in your local currency, and a $5 a month tier. You can check out what benefits those come with on the Patreon. One other thing you can do that's totally free that helps out a lot is rating the podcast on your podcast service of choice. So where you can leave a rating or leave comments, that always helps increase visibility. And then finally, you can follow us on various social media channels. We use most of them, but the best one to follow us on now is Blue Sky. So that's just ingressinsights.bsky.social. Search for Ingress Insights on Blue Sky, you'll find us on there. Finally, sharing the podcast with friends, family, other agents who want to listen and get updates, so it helps out and helps get interviews with various Ingress people or other game-related people to then increase visibility more. So anything you can do from those is great. Thanks again for listening, agents. Have a great day.
Intel package transferred.